We have more of our kids in care today than ever. Separating families is a huge trauma. Taking us from the land is a huge trauma. If you listen to Gabor Mate, very few people are actually addicted, and most of them are using alcohol, drugs, and other things to cope with the pain because the pain is just too big.
Tsow Tun is help people. Le Lum is house. It would be known as the helping house for people who are in need.
The three families, the Tsow Salish, the Nuchonal, and the Kwakwakua, got together, and then they opened it up to all other nations. Our first group opened in June of 1988, and we were running alcohol and drug programs. And I think almost within maybe the first few years, they realized that there was something bigger than this. People have been separated from their land, separated from each other, and not knowing where they belonged.
We lost so many people in the back in the day that related to the dysfunction in their life.
People use alcohol and drugs and gambling and now the internet, like whatever they can to escape from their pain because the pain is too much.
The physical, mental, and sexual abuse that was suffered at these schools disconnected us from our families when we returned.
When we're seeing behaviors that may not be conducive to safety and well-being, we have to know that's the way people have learned to cope. And the problem was really all this unresolved trauma.
And it's not easy doing it on your own. We need to reach out for help. And there are special people qualified and trained, such as the staff at Tsow Tun Le Lum.
All of my cultural people have trauma training. All of my staff have trauma training.
Because everybody has the right to heal from past traumas.
Many of the Indigenous people who are survivors of residential school, and not only that, the intergenerational survivors, the family members, have really struggled since the finding of the 215 children in Kamloops.
I think part of our goals and mandate is to really help people that are reaching out and need that help.
At Tsow Tun Le Lum, we offer a phone line support system.
That phone has actually helped save people's lives.
Our stories are much like theirs. I live in community. My sister was part of the 60 Scoop. I don't need them to educate me on what they're going through. I'm already living that in my own community, in my own family, in my own life. So I could really relate to what they're talking about and listen to them.
To have somebody there that has an understanding of the issues they're talking about, whether we're talking about residential school or fentanyl use or addictions, or someone is suicidal, that we're there and we're able to really hear them. And then give them some practical things that they can do. Practical things that'll help calm down their nervous system.
Like everywhere we look, the air that you just took a big breath in is medicine. And when you take that big breath, your heart rate increases, and on the exhale it decreases. And as you exhale, you're letting go of something that's not yours. Instantly through grounding, it's being replaced by healing energy. So the traditional medicines, they all play a role. And the thing is that there can be one medicine. Sometimes we'll just bring the cedar, and sometimes I'll bring cedar, I'll bring spruce, I'll bring hemlock with water and fire. And they all have their own medicine properties.
Tsow Tun Le Lum has been in existence, helping our people do their healing, creating that safe and loving and caring and culturally safe place, having the elders' wisdom, having our cultural people to help us to do the ceremonies we need to do, but also having Western methodologies, having the clinical counselors there, using programs from that whole blend of bringing everything together is going to help people do their healing.
They have addictions programs, but they also have trauma programs. And then the cultural support team also that goes out and supports families when they call and need that support.
It begins with a simple phone call or an email saying we need support. And then we pick up the phone and we connect with the individual who's asking for support for their community or themselves and their family.
This drum is Tsow Tun Le Lum's design this year for the murdered and missing women and girls. There was 4 of us brothers and 1 sister, and she fits into this murdered and missing women and girls. I dedicate lots of my life to singing and different things, at prayers and ceremony. And Tsow Tun Le Lum treats individuals that come that are traumatized by that.
We all have this big light that shines in us, and what trauma's done is it shrunk that light for a lot of people. And what we do at Tsow Tun Le Lum is we create that safe place, that loving, caring, kind place for them to go in and to heal those hurts so that their light can shine bright, so that their gifts can come out, and so that they know who they are and where they belong, and they go out and they share that in community. It's like that rock you throw into a pond and the ripple effects of that. And you know what? We never know who we're going to touch. We never know how we're going to make a difference for somebody.
As a former resident, I enjoyed spending time with the elders. They give guidance and they give teachings. One teaching, they would ask you to stand and face the trees outside the building. And you know that it's going to go through the wind, winter, spring and summer, heat, but it's still going to stand tall. And what she was asking us to do was stand tall like the tree. And sometimes we are going to go through those kind of emotions, similar to what the wind is going to push us. But our roots are going to be deep into our culture, into who we are. And we stand tall like the tree.
Our people know how to do this healing work. Our cultural people know how to do this healing work.
We've helped survivors through the trauma programs. We've helped them with their addictions. Each one that comes through and heals is that one step closer to our nations being healthy.
We want our allies and our partners to walk alongside us, but we have to be at the forefront.
In light of the orange shirts and the discoveries of our young children, some people with big hearts are asking how they can help.
Architecture takes on the life of healing, helping the people move forward.
The 3P process, production, preparation, process, is a way of bringing everybody together right from the beginning, because everybody who works here is part of the healing.
Who knows better what a job takes to be done than the people actually doing those jobs?
All of us as human beings, Indigenous beings, need to heal, no matter who we are, because there's been so much trauma in this world. And we know hurt people. And I'd love to change that so that we can help and love and care for each other and lift each other up. Hi-ya ho ha, hi-ya hey, hi-ya ha, hi-ya hey, hi-ya ha, hi-ya hey, hi-ya.